In this video, we'll investigate simple interest. And interest is the mathematical way of growing money over time. So our formula, which is in the book, is A equals P naught times 1 plus R. So this is the main formula that we'll be applying in this video. A stands for the amount, and that's the amount of money that we have after 1 year. P naught stands for principal. Principal is the amount of money that you invest, so think of that as like your initial deposit. And R is our interest rate. And that must be a yearly rate, since simple interest is always assumed to be a yearly rate. So let's look at an example. Let's say that we invest some money into an account, and the amount of money that we invest is $13,500. And we're going to invest that in an account that gets 6% simple interest. So think of that as we make a deposit of $13,500 into an account, and that account accrues 6% simple interest. So let's just ask the question, how much money do we have after 1 year? So to find this out, we'll use our formula. The amount will be our initial investment, 13,500 times 1 plus R, which is 0.06. We have to change percents into decimals, and you do that by moving the decimal place over 2 spots. So it started over here, and you go over two spaces. So now all that's left to do is to plug this into a calculator, and you end up with $14,310. That's our answer. So what if we want to know not just how much money we have after a year, but how much of this money is interest? How much is new money that was generated simply by having our principal left in the account? And the way we apply interest to principal is we take the principal and multiply it by the interest rate. So the actual interest is just $13,500 times the interest rate, which is 0.06. And that turns out to be $810. So if you look at the difference between the new money after a year and the initial investment, that's $810. So that's the actual interest. That's the new money that's accrued. Let's take a look at another example just to get a feel for this formula. So in this problem, let's say that you have some amount of money that you want to save, and you have an account set up. And let's ask the question, how much would you need to deposit initially in order to reach that amount? So let's say you want $1,500. And you want this after 1 year. So you're willing to wait 1 year for this $1,500, and you have an account that has simple interest, and it's 7%. That's your yearly interest rate, 7%. And so the question is, how much do you deposit? So you want $1,500, you're willing to wait a year, your account accrues simple interest at 7%. How much money do you need to deposit in the beginning? And for that, we can use the same formula. And our formula is A equals P naught times 1 plus R. What we need to do is identify which numbers here correspond to which letters in the formula. So the money that we want after a year is $1,500, which means that's the amount. So that's A. P naught, that's our deposit, that's our initial amount of money. And so that stays a variable, which is what we'll solve for. And then R here is 0.07. So all we're doing is setting up an equation. We have one variable, everything else is plugged in, therefore all we need to do is solve for that variable. So P naught is 1,500. You take this 1 plus 0.07, divide both sides, so that's, notice 1 plus 0.07 is just 1.07. So P naught is 1,500 divided by 1.07. This is a good answer. You can accept this and circle it and be done. But if you're interested in just what this is approximately, if you were to plug this into your calculator, you would get roughly 1,401.87. So that means you would have to invest $1,401.87, and after a year that would become $1,500 after the interest is applied. So that's the end of our investigation into simple interest.